Let's start just with some nice centering breaths. So coming to your comfortable seat, good morning, and closing your eyes. Today we're having a whole hour of yin. But if you do need to run away before the end because you have other commitments, then you can slowly slink off, although I do hope you can all stay for Shavasana. Because basically, us having an hour means that we will have Shavasana today, which is a rarity in these classes. I apologise. Feeling the lengthening of your breath. Today we're going to be coming into some poses which are working with the spine. So I know some of you have some old injuries there and some tightness, so there'll be adjustments. But if you're feeling still very uncomfortable, then please unmute yourself and let me know, because we're going to be holding the poses for a little bit longer today than we usually do. So I want to make sure that everyone's comfortable to be able to then stay in the pose. And these longer holds are obviously going to mean that we can go a bit deeper into that journey inwards. So allow yourself to go inwards in these poses. Still focusing on the heart center. Taking a moment before we begin to dedicate your practice to someone today for whom you love, for whom you want to express love, for whom you want to send love, and hold that person in your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Inhaling fully. Exhale fully. Inhale for Om. Open your eyes, namaste, good morning. So we're going to begin in Anahat Asana, puppy pose. So coming first onto your knees. And if you know already that this pose is not good on your spine, then an alternative can be to come into child's pose. And you can either take child's pose with your knees wide, which is going to be more of a hip opener, or with your knees together, which is going to allow the movement of the spine in the opposite direction more. So if you want to come to child's pose, please come to child's pose. Otherwise, sliding the hands forward on the mat and dropping the chest down to the floor. So the target area here is the shoulders and the lumbar spine. And the lumbar spine is towards the back of your spine. So you can either be on your forehead or your chin, or if you want to, you can even bring a cushion underneath your chest. We're going to start this in 3 minutes so that you can, we're not going to go straight into one of the longer holds. So using this pose to connect with your breath and connect with your body this morning. Continuing to lengthen from the tailbone to help feel the sensations in the target area in the spine. And you've got the option to adjust the hands either further away from each other, which is going to be less stress on the shoulders, or if you're feeling very open in your shoulders, the hands closer together will mean that there's more stress on the joints there. We obviously worked quite a lot with the shoulders yesterday, so maybe you're feeling that now. So let yourself ease into this space this morning. If it helps you to focus your attention inwards, then you can close the eyes, either for the whole duration of the class or as we come into each pose. If you don't like closing your eyes, then just finding somewhere to fix your eyes, trying to come into stillness with the poses. Because when we come to stillness, that's how we begin to experience more intensely the energy flowing through our body. And that is what you want to be able to experience. And you're going to feel that most strongly in each pose in the areas that we're targeting, as your chi, your pranic energy moves to those target areas. Just a few more breaths here in this first pose. Final inhale through the nose. Exhale, lift the head, and inhale, rock forward onto your pelvis, onto your belly. Dropping one cheek to the floor and bringing your arms beside your body. Let the shoulders totally relax. Let your body fall into the floor as we come into a rebound between the poses. Using this pause to notice how the energy is moving around your body after you release the pose. And then looking forward, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders and pushing up into Sphinx Pose. So bring the palms of your hands together in prayer so that you're not having to really actively push with the arms, but rather just kind of resting into this pose. And I know that if you have problems in your lumbar spine, this may still not feel good, in which case please come into caterpillar. So caterpillar, you're going to rock back onto your sit bones, extend the legs forward, and you can bend the knees or have them straight and fold forward. So we're still working with the spine, but instead of having to target the lumbar spine, it's more of a release throughout the length of the spine. Otherwise, finding stillness in Sphinx Pose. The closer your feet are together, the more it will target the lumbar spine. So if that's too much, then move the feet further apart. If you would like more, then you can bring a cushion underneath your elbows and prop yourself up for a bit more length. And you also have two options. If you move the shoulder blades away from you, that's also going to be targeting that area more. There's more pressure. Or you can sink the neck into the shoulders, so dropping down, which obviously is going to be less of a stressor on the target area. Either closing your eyes or finding a point to focus your eyes on, so that the stillness with your gaze is reflected in the stillness in your body. As we're really working on opening the chest here, it's a lovely time to work with this sense of love for the person you're devoted your practice to. Imagine that person filling up your heart space. And notice if there's any difficulties in doing that, and allowing that person in this heart space. Probably for all of us very hard to find a relationship that is just pure love. Our relationships are so complicated that maybe you can experience some of that in your heart. But just let that be, so that you can begin to accept the fragility of different aspects of relationships, difficulties, letting them go in this heart center. Coming into the final minute of the pose. So if you would like to go further, you can come onto your hands into seal. Or if it's too much, you can drop lower down. Breathing into the target area, breathing into your lumbar spine. Final few breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Drop down, bringing your other cheek to rest on the floor. Arms back by your sides, letting go of the shoulders, letting everything fall into the floor. And feeling sensations you've created in your body. Feeling the prana moving out of the target areas now and starting to flow again freely through your body. Inhale, look forward. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and push yourself up to seated. Walk the hands back onto your knees and then shift your legs to one side and extend them in front of you. So we're going to come into shoelace pose, and it's obviously going to be very different depending on the external rotation in your hip. So we're going to start with the right knee on top, and if you know that this pose can be uncomfortable for you, you can keep the left leg extended, or maybe you can bend the bottom knee. And what you want is to have both sit bones on the floor. So if they're not both on the floor and the right hip is coming up, then either bring that left leg back in front of you, back extended, or you can instead cross the legs with the right leg very gently in front of the left. So in a kind of cross, easy seated pose. So find the version that's going to work for you. If you have very open hip, external rotation of the hips, then you can walk the feet further away in this pose or closer together. And you have the option to stay lifted, stay with the spine extended, or to fold forward over the knee. If you have pain in your lumbar spine, then no need to fold forward. We're going to be here for 4 minutes. So again, maybe closing your eyes, setting yourself up so that you can stay in this pose, breathing into your right hip, breathing into the spine if you're in the fold. You do have an option here. If you want to fall forward but are worried about your spine, you can sit on a cushion, and you can maybe bring a blanket between the knees if that helps you to feel supported. If you're feeling pain in the knee, then please come out and come back to the easy seat variation of the pose. Starting to feel the energy focusing now around your right hip flexor, around your glutes. Breathing into that space. You may also feel it inside your right thigh, that's fine. You don't want to feel it in the knee, so if you're feeling pain in the knee, open the legs. Come into the cross-legged variation. Listening to what is going on internally. And using this time to explore lots of the different concepts that we've been talking about that are related to the different energetic centers in the body. Physical practice of yoga is an opportunity to experience these different elements of ourselves, to notice things that come up on the mat, and that can be at a physical level, it can be at an energetic level, it can be at a spiritual level. Or maybe it's just noticing that it's very hard for you to stop the chatter in your mind. And that's fine. Notice that if that is what you're experiencing. And try to pull your awareness back to the sensations in your body, sensations in your hip, using this time to focus on your experience. Inhale, start to come up if you are in the fold. And we're going to come straight into the next pose, which is going to be Sleeping Swan. So to do that, lift your hips up and bring the right shin onto the floor. And then extend the back leg behind you, so it's pigeon pose. And if your right thigh isn't on the floor, then bringing a cushion underneath it, but you want your hips to be even, so don't let yourself sink into the right hip. Keep them even and use the support if you need it. Continuing to target the right hip. We're now going to go deeper, so beyond the glute into the piriformis. And you can stay with your fingers on the floor, or you can fold forward, dropping the head. The position of the right shin is going to totally depend on your hips. So it may be that the right foot is very close to your left hip joint, or it may be that your shin is more parallel with the front of the mat. Either is totally fine. Letting yourself experience this yin energy. Very calming, introspective, feminine, soft energy. For some people, that can be a very easy place to come to. And for some people, it can be a very difficult place to come to let your body come to stillness, to let your body be where it is, to be gentle with yourself. If it is hard for you, let yourself ease in to the stillness. You can focus your attention on the breath. You can focus your attention on the right hip. Or you can focus your attention at the heart center. If you're feeling temptation to move, notice that and send that intention back to your hips. Remember why you chose to practice yoga this morning. Asking yourself what you want to benefit from your practice today. Last few breaths in this pose. Inhale. If you came down to the floor, start to lift your gaze and then walk the hands back. Lift the chest gently up. If you have the cushion, move it to one side and sit onto your right hip, bringing both legs in front of you. Slowly, slowly, gently. And then bring your hands onto your thighs, palms facing up, just close your eyes. Be with the sensation in your body. Feeling the energy flowing back through your body after having targeted that right hip for 10 minutes in those two poses. Awareness of the sensation in that hip and awareness of the energy that you focused on that hip flowing back through your body. Open the eyes. And we're going to come into shoelace on the other side. So it may be different. You may not need to do the same adjustment that you did last time. But the left knee is going to come on top and the right leg behind. So if that doesn't feel good for you, then the options are to extend the right leg or to open, have a kind of triangle shape in front of you and come to an easy seat. And if you're in the easy seat, then you can still fold forward here, or again, you can stay with the spine straight. So come into the version that works for you. Again, cushion under your sit bones. If one, that either helps with any sensation in your knee, or if you know that tilting the pelvis helps you to fold forward. You can also bring a blanket up between the knees if that feels good. So now starting to settle into the pose, into your version of the pose. And maybe you fold forward, or maybe you want to stay with your spine extended. Letting yourself come into stillness. Feeling the energy moving into the left hip. And maybe into your spine if you're in the fold. Noticing the quality of your breath. Can you lengthen the inhale? Can you lengthen the exhale? noticing what comes up for you in this pose. If it's a difficult physical space for you, a difficult emotional space for you, accepting anything that comes up, letting yourself experience it and letting go. Last few breaths here in shoelace. Final inhale. Exhale, start to come up if you were in the fold. And then push your hips up off the floor. Bring the left shin to the floor and extend the right leg back. Taking your support underneath the left hip if you need it. And you could do that in a few ways. You could either have it more under the thigh, or you could have it so that it's under your groin and your hip, of course. So again, the left shin can either be coming in towards your body, or it can be parallel with the front of the mat, but certainly don't force it to be parallel with the front of the mat if that's bringing any discomfort to your knee. It's just to do with the position of the femur coming out of the hip joint. So either staying on your arms or folding forward, coming into stillness. Letting yourself experience the sensations in your left hip. Feeling the energy in the left hip. Sending your breath there. Seeing if you can release any tension from elsewhere in your body. Can you release tension out of the right leg? Can you release tension in your shoulders? Maybe there's even tension in your face. See if you can let that go. And just focus on sending the breath to the left hip. Yin yoga is all about this journey inwards, of really allowing yourself to experience being in your body without having to worry about what a pose looks like, about where your fingers are placed, your toes are placed, just coming into the pose and letting your body express it in the way that feels good for your body, and then experiencing the subtle flow of energy to the target area in the pose. One minute left here in this pose. If you find your mind has wandered off, gently bring it back to your experience in your body. If you're feeling the temptation to move, focusing on the sensation in your hip, remembering why you wanted to practice yoga this morning. Final few breaths in this pose. Inhale, if you came forward, then gently lift the head, and exhale, walk the hands back. Just opening here for a moment, pushing the floor away from you, and then removing your cushion if you had one, coming onto the left sit bone and bringing the right leg forward, left leg forward, taking a rebound here with your hands on your thighs facing upwards. Close your eyes. Ooh. Feel the energy moving through your body. Feeling the subtle flow of energy from your hips, down your legs, from your hips, up through your torso. Gently open the eyes and just move your butt cheeks apart so that you're on your sit bones. And we're going to come into caterpillar, but really just for a minute. So we're just kind of releasing from the spine. And you can make it more active, of course, by taking hold of the toes. It's going to get more into the hamstrings. But if you're doing that, then extending through the spine. Otherwise, let the hands fall either under your knees, onto your thighs, or on the floor, and let the round come into the back. Totally let your legs flop, however the flop of the legs is for you, and it will be different for all of us depending on what the bones are doing in our hip sockets. So maybe your legs naturally come in, maybe they go out, maybe they stay forward. Just let that happen. And drop the head. Relax the neck. Inhale, come back up. And if you know that you need to be gentle with your spine, then this next pose may not be for you, so just wait a moment and I'll give you the variation. But otherwise you're going to come to lay down on your back, bring your knees into your chest, and then extend the legs up, bring your hands onto the back of your hips, and start to let the legs fold over your head. And before you come into the full expression, you want to have the weight on the top of your shoulders and gently push into the back of your head to lift the chin. And from here, maybe you bend your knees. So if the feet aren't on the floor, you're going to stay supporting your sacrum with your hands. If the feet do come to the floor, then you can wrap the arms around your bent knees. So this is snail pose. But if you're being wary of your spine, then instead come to happy baby. So still lying down, but taking hold of either the toes, the outside of the feet, or the ankles. And you don't need to worry about pushing the tailbone down. You can just let whatever naturally comes to you, come to you. We are staying here for 5 minutes, so please make sure that you are comfortable. Happy baby. If at any point snail becomes too much, you can also come back down into happy baby. And this is a total, if you're in snail, then it's a total release for all of the spine. If you're in happy baby, then breathing into your hips. If you're in snail and you're feeling that your neck is constricted, push down with the head to lift the chin. But make sure that the weight of your body is not on your head, but on your shoulders. You want to be able to still breathe steadily here. So if you're feeling that that's constricted, then bring the legs either further away from you, keep supporting the spine, or come into happy baby.
Last inhale. And as you exhale, if the knees are bent, start to straighten the legs. Bringing your hands onto your sacrum if you need the support. And then gently coming down onto your spine, vertebra by vertebra. If you're in happy baby, bringing the legs back down onto the floor. Just resting here for a moment. Feeling that energetic sensation up the hips, in the hips if you're in happy baby, or through the spine if you're in snail. Then bend your knees, bring them in towards your chest. Open your arms out either side of you and let the knees fall over to the left side, looking over your right shoulder. We did a lot of work with the spine today, so this is your chance to release in this gentle, gentle twist. So don't try to force the shoulder down if it's coming up. Don't try to force the knees down if they're up. Just letting yourself release into this gentle twist. Start to bring the knees back in towards your chest. And then let them come over to the right side, look over your left shoulder. Close the eyes. Releasing through the spine, the hips, the chest. And then bring the knees back in towards your chest. Hug your arms around your knees. Lift your head, come into a ball, giving yourself a big, big hug. A hug of compassion, empathy, joy, and love. Big squeeze. And you can either inwardly or verbally say, I love you, to yourself, to the person you've dedicated this practice to, letting yourself feel a surge of love. And exhale, release. Bringing the right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot to the left corner of the mat. Hands can be either closer to your body or further apart, which is going to allow this chest space to continue opening, welcoming feelings of love and gratitude, compassion. Inhale fully. Exhale, let the body totally relax into our final pose, Shavasana. you have the time and you want to stay in Shavasana longer, then let yourself do that. Let yourself still enjoy the stillness that you created in your body through this yin practice today. But if you want to come out of Shavasana, then follow my voice. Otherwise, let go of my voice and stay in your body. To come out, start to let your awareness of the energy in your toes and your fingers, waking the toes and the fingers back up. Letting movement come into the hands and the feet. Lengthening the breath. And gently bringing the feet together and inhaling, arms up overhead. Ooh, give yourself a big stretch. Another inhale to reach out from the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. Exhale, release. Bending one knee and rolling over onto the side of your body. And pushing yourself gently up to seated. Taking moments for yourself in the seated position with the eyes closed, and recognizing what your experience with practice today. Trying to find a meaningful way for the experience on the mat to continue into the rest of your day and into the rest of your life. That is the true practice of yoga, allowing ourselves to experience truly being in our bodies, being with ourselves, exploring what comes up for us there, so that we can continue to move forward into the world with compassion and love for ourselves and for everyone that we encounter. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead, palms meet. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Feeling the sensation of your hands pressing together, knowing that this symbolizes the union of all opposing forces, and that the yin energy that we cultivated in the practice today is just as important as the yang energy that you may continue to cultivate throughout your day. Inhaling fully. Exhaling fully. Inhale for Om. Gently rub the palms of your hands together, creating energy, creating heat. As you rub them together more vigorously, feeling the energy between your arms, your hands, and then sweeping this energy over your face, over your head, down your neck, your shoulders, down the sides of your body and across your thighs, sweeping it off you. Bringing the palms back together, your third eye. Thank you all so much for practicing today and every day. Hari Om Tat Sat.